Okay, hopefully we're here. I hope so. I think it's Pink is still here. Did it's Pink fall asleep or something? Okay. I'm not reporting anything. All right, so now I'll tell you, I watched Amber up until the auction started, so I missed maybe the last hour of it. Okay. Hey, Detective Turtlegum, Janae, Ann, Kubi, everybody that's here. Let me just I just want to make sure that we have something put on here. Okay, good. All right, so today I'll give you my recap, then I will go and give you the official one. So they had Dr. Hughes on the stand, and I did see the cross. Tiny Titan. That's really sweet. Thank you. Tam, you didn't have to do that, but that's precious. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much, just because I can. Thank you. So they had Dr. Hughes on the screen, and she was cross-examined, and there was a lot of stuff. Oh my gosh. Don't talk about, I can't, Davita, we can't talk about teeth. I called my dentist today about my crowns, and I couldn't even get through to them. But I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you have a root canal in it so it's not causing you any pain. I hope you're not in pain. Oh boy, that sucks. That sucks. What did you crack it on? Candy or something? Okay, I hope you feel better. I hope they get it fixed right away. Purse. So, you don't know what to think now. You don't know what to think? Oh, okay. So she changed her mind. You felt sorry for her? Okay. Well, let's talk about Dr. Hughes first. So, Dr. Hughes, under cross-examination, did not look so well, did she? Because she didn't know Amber prior to 2019. It's not like she was Amber's therapist. Everything that Amber told her came after the op-ed. Okay? So, also, they made her look like she just picked and choose. She gets $500 an hour. She gives presentations on how to be an expert witness in court. She didn't review certain things. She didn't look at certain things. She never spoke to Johnny. She only heard everything through Amber, and only after 2019. All of that stuff. So I think they did really good with the cross-examination, and I think it gave her less credibility, okay, to anything that she said about Amber. Then Amber takes the stand, and Amber goes through how she met Johnny, and how in love they were, and that all of a sudden her parents went from being abusive addicts to then being the salt of the earth. Did anybody notice that? One minute they tell you she grew up in this totally abusive, dysfunctional household, and it was this, it was that, and then when she gets on the stand, she says her father, Johnny did things for her father, and he was the salt of the earth. Did anybody hear that and find that was like, what? What happened? Right? Yes, people can change. People can go to rehab or something, but it just changed. So then she was doing a lot of stuff saying, I watched him when she was going on and on about how in love they were, and that she went to his trailer over there and he kicked up her bathrobe because she was dressed in period costume, and all of that stuff. But see, some people just said they have changed their mind about Amber, or they don't know how to feel because, well, she took the stand. So I don't know, but let's go to the coffee. What are you doing drinking coffee? You shouldn't be drinking coffee this late. Okay. Okay. So Dr. Hughes kind of during cross-examination, Dr. Hughes acknowledged that she wasn't making factual determinations that Johnny Depp assaulted Amber Heard on specific occasions, but she testified that Amber's account of her experiences are consistent with accounts of those experiencing domestic violence. Great. She's an actress. She could have studied for a role, right? She testified that sexual assaults, including being forced by Johnny to perform oral sex. On cross-examination, she said that Amber denied being forced to perform oral sex during psychological testing performed as part of Hughes' evaluation. So Hughes cross-examined. Her testimony contradicts that of Dr. Curry, who was the psychologist that Depp's lawyers had, who said Amber was faking her symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder and that Amber suffered from borderline and histrionic personality disorders. And then after that, we have Amber. That's a good picture of Amber on the stand. Okay. So she first talked about how they fell in love. They went on a press tour. It was a beautiful, strange time. We were flying from one city to the next. We were traveling around, talking about this movie we did together. We were falling in love. But then she also talked about how they didn't hear ghosted her, or she didn't hear from him for so long, And the funny thing I thought is, as she's telling us, she goes into the abuse and she talks about the abuse, and it's 3 years before she marries him. Why'd she marry him? Oh, you're going to say, oh, she's going to change him. Oh, yeah, this and that. Yeah, come on. She said the punching of walls next to her head was a constant in 2012. Right. 3 years before she married him, when he was drinking. Eventually, he accused me of cheating. I defended myself, and it would escalate to the point that he would push me. She explained her alleged abuse that she experienced up until they went on a break, and she testified that she had never experienced a love like she had with Johnny Depp. I wish I could sit here and say I stood up and walked out of that house, but I didn't. I sat there with the dirty carpet trying to get the willpower to stand up and walk out of that house because I knew I needed to. When they asked her why she was there, she said, I am here because my ex-husband is suing me for an op-ed I wrote. I struggle to have the words. I struggle to find the words to describe how painful this is for me. This is the most painful and difficult thing I've ever gone through. What is that noise? Let's see here. Hang on one second. I'm trying to get to some more details. So let's talk a little bit more about Dr. Hughes. So they also testified about that knife that she bought Johnny. Okay, and is that would somebody that's afraid of her partner give him this knife, right? I thought they were excellent with Dr. Hughes. They totally they won that. If you want to know the truth, she, let me go through here. This is the knife that Amber bought for Johnny, and it says until death on it, and they were like, why would they have that? Okay, so Wayne Dennison cross-examined Dr. Hughes, and he pressed Dr. Hughes on her use of the pronouns she used during the previous day. Okay, so this was one of the things. They said, why did you keep saying she to be a victim, he to be the abusers, and everything you did? Why were you so gender specific like that? That he is the abuser, she is the victim. So that was one of the first things. And she said, I was using she and her because my determination was Miss Heard was the victim of intimate partner violence. And then Dennison asked if Dr. Hughes ever spoke to Johnny Depp during her evaluation. She said no. And then he asked, you can't assess a relationship without talking to both parties. And she said, well, you can get a lot of information from one party, especially when it's buttressed by therapy records and couples therapy. I also read Mr. Depp's transcripts. I reviewed his medical records, his text messages. I was not necessarily totally blind. And then the lawyer said, so the standard now is not necessarily totally blind, then I can assess it. And the doctor said, well, we assess relationships all the time. Certainly someone who has been trained in intimate partner violence looks for the dynamics. Under questioning, Dr. Hughes said that she did not interview Dr. Laurel Anderson, who was the couples therapist who did a number of sessions with Johnny and Amber. Dr. Hughes says that Miss Anderson's notes, she said that Depp had been well controlled for 20 to 30 years, but something in Miss Heard triggered him. Anderson did not conclude that Heard was the victim of spousal abuse, but Dr. Hughes said that she disagreed with this. And then the lawyer said, the stuff you disagree with, you disregard, and the rest you keep. And then she said, that's not correct. The court was shown the knife that Amber bought Johnny as a present with the inscription Hasta la muerte or until death in Spanish. And then he said, a woman you suggest has characteristics of being afraid for her life gives her intimate partner a large knife on which she inscribes until death. Dr. Hughes testified that Amber initially described occasions where Johnny forced her to have sex as angry sex. And then the lawyer asked Dr. Hughes if she helped Amber to reframe these encounters as non-consensual, but she denied it. She said her job was just to evaluate her. The results from one of the tests that Dr. Hughes carried out was shown to the jury as she was cross-examined. Under the section, potential for aggression, it read, sometimes my temper explodes and I completely lose control. Dr. Hughes said that Amber responded that this was sometimes true. She said Amber reported to her in her relationship that what happened, her anger and affect regulation would become impaired. Going over another response, Dr. Hughes confirmed that Amber said it was sometimes the case that my temper explodes. Another response from Amber read, I think I have 3 or 4 completely different personalities inside of me. Amber said this was sometimes true, Dr. Hughes said. Dr. Hughes said that Amber admitted to her that she cut herself once as a teenager in a reckless, stupid moment and never did it again. Okay. And the doctor said that Amber went from 130 pounds to 105 pounds in weight during the tumultuous relationship with Johnny Depp. You know what else can make you do that? You know, right? It doesn't have to be a tumultuous relationship. It could be something much different. Okay, let me go to, now let's look at some more about Amber. Okay, let's get Amber back on there. Again, I said the quote her saying, I struggle to find the words to describe how painful this is. This is horrible for me to sit here for weeks and relive everything. Over more than 2 hours, Amber described years of alleged abuse at the hands of Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp has denied committing violence against Amber in his own lengthy testimony. Amber described the first meeting with Johnny when she was 22, saying there was a mutual electricity between them, despite both of them being in other long-term committed relationships. Years later, when they both had separated from their partners, they fell in love, according to Amber. She called those early days of the relationship a whirlwind romance. When I was around Johnny, I felt like the most beautiful person. He made me feel like $1 million. But as she continued, she accused Depp of psychological and physical violence, often triggered by heavy drinking and drug use. The abuse, she said, began with demeaning name-calling, accusations of infidelity, constant belittling, and violent fits that included smashing glasses and punching walls. Often he'd punch a wall near my face, she said. Amber said the first time that Johnny hit her was when she asked him about the muddle tattoo on his arm that reads Wino, which, you know, used to be Winona Forever, right? For Winona Ryder. I just laughed because I thought he was joking, and then he slapped me across the face. Not knowing how to respond, she recalled that she laughed again because she didn't know what's going on. He slapped her 2 more times, according to Amber. You would think you would have a response, but I, as a woman, had never been hit like that. Now, I thought she grew up in an abusive home. See, this is what I mean, right? Didn't she grow up in a physically and emotionally abusive home? Isn't that what they told us? And she said she didn't know how to respond. Well, even if you've never been smacked across the face and you're smacked across the face 3 times? Do you know how to respond to someone smacking you across the face 3 times? I think you would probably know how to respond. You would think you would have a response, but I, as a woman, had never been hit like that. I'm an adult, and I'm sitting next to the man I love, and he slapped me for no reason. Amber said Johnny begged for forgiveness immediately following the incident, promised never to harm her again, and within days she did forgive him, and that began an ongoing pattern cycle of abuse, she testified. She also was saying she had never seen a man cry in her life until she had seen Johnny cry, and that she totally emasculated him there, that he would just sob and sob. Amber's lawyers showed the jury a photograph in which her arm appears bruised. She said, Johnny grabbed me by the arm and kind of just held me on the floor, screaming at me. I don't know how many times he hit me in the face. Okay. Wouldn't she have marks all over her face? Why would she just show her arm? Amber claimed she learned to note differences in Johnny's behavior depending on the drugs he was taking at the time. Johnny on speed is very different from Johnny on opiates. Johnny on opiates is very different from Adderall and cocaine, which is very different from Quaaludes. Earlier in the day, the psychologist Don Hughes testified that Heard endured emotional abuse and intimate partner violence. Okay, let's get some more. Okay, so she said she minimized it about the alleged violence. However, in March of 2013, there were a number of incidents. After one occasion, Amber took a photo of a large bruise on her upper arm. In another instance, she talked about being hit in the face by Johnny Depp. My lip went into my teeth, and it got a little blood on the wall. She said her boyfriend wears a lot of rings. Later, she talked about a July 2013 yacht ride with Johnny and his then teenage kids. She said of a nearby Downcast Rum Diary co-star, there's no off button with Johnny. He could effing kill me. I'm an embarrassment. She said Johnny allegedly told her as he was pushing her up against a cabin wall in the boat he was about to sell to author J.K. Rowling, followed by barely coherent text messages. Amber soon left the yacht with Johnny's daughter, Lily Rose, shamed by the supposedly drunken actor's accusations that she had humiliated him in front of his children. She will never forget the first time that he hit her. It changed her life. And that was in the winter of 2011, and that was about that tattoo. I didn't want to leave him after the first act of violence as she laid on the dirty carpet at his house. I know you can't come back from that. I'm not dumb. Remarking on the velvety love the two had when things were good, she pulled back the curtain on the couple's relationship turning sour in and around 2012 with an alleged heavy drinking Johnny calling her a whore, denigrating her fashion choices, and throwing objects and punches close to her. She said the rage this man had. And then his subsequent hyperbolic pledge like that he'd rather cut my hand off than ever lay it on you. Amber brought up a term the jury had heard before during his testimony and that of others. Amber said on one particular occasion in 2012, the sometimes disappearing Depp admitted to her he had a problem with booze and drugs. I put that effer away. I killed that monster, he told her. The latter term being frequently explained in prior testimony, remarkably as referring to Depp's sobriety, not his drinking and drugging. I wanted to believe him, so I stayed. I believed there was a line and he wouldn't cross it again. Depp did not watch Amber on the stand. Instead, he sat between his two attorneys wearing those sunglasses, and he leaned over the table, seemed to be distinctly avoiding eye contact by scribbling. When she talked about her early life, she said she worked her butt off and talked about how she had small roles in big movies, and that she began to detail meeting Depp for the first time in 2009 at an audition for the Rum Diaries. The remarkable conversation was filled with talks of books and poetry and old blues, the actress noted to the court, indicating that she clearly was charmed by Johnny Depp. And soon after that, Johnny called Amber to offer her the role in the film based on his late pal Hunter S. Thompson's writing. She spoke of making the movie in Puerto Rico and how a flirtatious vibe between the two, who both were in other relationships at the time, calling it a beautiful and strange time. A sometimes tearful Amber also detailed a kiss they shared and how they first became involved in Los Angeles during a 2011 press tour of the film. Clearly, that beautiful time was when the two were in their bubble, as she called it, and hanging out. He said he had a lot of homes. They would be in those homes. It was their little bubble. Okay, and that was about it for today. They ended court early. Remember, tomorrow is going to be the last day, and then they're going to be off for a week. So, we'll see what happens tomorrow. Where she goes tomorrow. Right? We're almost ready to go to our next thing, but let me see what you guys are thinking about that. What did you guys, did her testimony change your mind at all? How do I get this off? Why is this? Did the testimony change your mind at all? Yes, happy birthday, Scooter. She really harped on the bubble thing, being in that bubble, yeah, with him. Did her testimony change your mind at all? If you were not for her, did you become for her, and vice versa? Did it change your mind? No. Not at all. No, it didn't change my mind. Nope, Scooter said. Somebody came in here and said they didn't know how to feel after seeing her testimony, and it made it sound to me like they were Molly Ma'am said it didn't change my mind that she is the worst of the two, but I do believe some of what she's saying. She said he made me feel like $1,000,000. How fitting was that? I don't know why she would have married him, Carol Clark, exactly. If he was that abusive well before they got married. LMW says Jodi Arias is way more interesting than Amber. No, that's not that Molly. I don't think she took money from anybody. She was acting, Rough and Ready said. So tomorrow, and then it's going to be off for a week. Isn't that special? Oh, I think there were more super chats that I heard. Let me see who they were. Let me see if this will tell me. Because I don't want to not recognize. Oh, thank you. You sent those, Tammy. Thank you for those. Thank you. No, I see them. Okay, we're going to go to talk about that crazy, well, we still have 1 minute. Corrections off, a week off, Kubi. Tomorrow will be it, and then they're taking a week off. I hear they're going to the I hear they're going somewhere with people from a YouTube channel for the week. No. I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe that's why they're taking the week off. I don't know. She wouldn't sign the prenup, Oliver. She wouldn't sign it. But who says I didn't know how to react when somebody slaps me across the face 3 times? But supposedly she grew up in a physically and emotionally abusive home. Come on. I don't care if you didn't grow up in an abusive home. If somebody smacks you across the face 3 times, I think you could probably figure out how to react. Hi, Robodibble. Amy said she appeared to be vindictive and dishonest. So we're going to go talk about that convict, and they just might be Sharon. That convict and everything. I don't understand why he married her, but he didn't marry. Who knows? Maybe the other ones didn't. Maybe Vanessa didn't want to get married. Maybe she was pushing to get married. We don't know, right? Hi, Alicia. Okay, so I'm going to take us to the headline portion. How long have we been here? Oh, I see. She probably meant she froze in chocolate. Who knows? I don't know. It could be. And she mentioned Vanessa multiple times to frame him. as a cheater. As a cheater. The difference between her testimony on the UK case and this one is shockingly different. Catherine Summers. There is surveillance footage, and corrections officer Vicky Wright and Casey White's brother is being. Yes, I know. I know, Jeanette. But him up to same. All right, so everybody. Oh, I've got to put the redirect on this one to the next one. Hold on, just stay where you are. I'm getting hungry again. It's not good. It's not good. It's not good. Okay, I'm going to redirect.